It's the Orioles on Masson, and for a final time here in Toronto this year, with a question mark, the Orioles and the Blue Jays, final game of the regular season for these two teams against one another. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. And here we are with 3 left in New York and 1 here, and still await who's going to make it into that wild card spot. The Orioles certainly messed it up last night for everybody else with that big comeback win. Tighter than ever coming into today's play. The Detroit Tigers game canceled because of rain. They'll play if necessary on Monday. It just gets more intriguing the longer we go into this. For the Orioles, though, there has been a consistency as to what they have to do to win. So let's go through it. First of all, for the Orioles, all in last night's game, you have got to play defense. In the 5th inning, Encarnacion robbed of a hit with a runner on. That would end it. Reimold again, 6th inning, 2 on, nobody out. Bautista takes off from second, a double play, got out of the inning. Hart came on an inning and a third, getting out both left and right-handers. Michael Givens, 2/3 of an inning, a strikeout, just a walk, but got the big outs. Denning would end up getting the win as he picked up the strikeout of Upton with the bases loaded. In the 8th inning, Dunsing would get the W, and of course, Britton would come on to wrap it up. A 1-2-3, 47th consecutive save. The other thing the Orioles have to do, they have to hit home runs. Trumbo, this one, 8th inning. It's the Orioles' first run to make it a 2-1 ball game. And then, of course, the blast heard around South Korea. This is the 2-run homer off the closer, Osuna. It is a blown save and a loss for their closer, and for the Orioles, a game-winning RBI home run. There you go, Mike. That's what the Orioles have done all year. Yeah. Get a decent start. Tillman gave them that. The pen comes in, takes care of it. Defense gets played, and the Orioles hit home runs.
Well, I'll tell you what. They have been a resilient team all year long, and they've been able to bounce back from some of the toughest losses, but the timing was impeccable last night. I mean, wow, what a turnaround win for this team. They were out of it the whole ball game. I mean, you could just feel the team kind of waiting for something to happen, and it's little moments in game that actually build the momentum. And I think Jonathan Schoop getting the base hit to start that 9th inning off kind of lifted everybody up in the dugout. Jonathan Schoop is back. He found a base hit a couple innings before. He had been in a terrible slump. He's like 0 for 24 coming in this ball game. So that kind of got the energy going in the dugout. Michael Bourn coming in, stealing the base. The Orioles do not steal bases. And not that that stolen base mattered, but it helped to bring the energy up, and then Kim did the rest. His focus was impeccable. The at-bat of the year, say the least. And hopefully that creates some momentum into this ball game, and Ubaldo has another gem.
All right, well, they've split the first 2 in this series. If the Orioles can come away with a win in this one, they will have tied Toronto for the #1 wild card spot. Settle back. Here we go. Is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Heaven bless the dome. It is raining outside. The dome is closed. We're going to play baseball. Our BGE home game time temperature 59 degrees. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Here's the lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares, nothing to hide. That's transparency. It'll be Jones, Kim, and Machado. Trumbo, Wieters, Davis, Scope, Bourne, because he plays and hits well in this ballpark, is in. And Hardy, Young-Soo Kim, last night's hero against the Blue Jays. That's a pretty solid year.
And let's take a look at Marcus Stroman's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball, he has a two-seamer, his fastball of choice, and of course a four-seamer. You'll see him ride it to the top of the zone, but at a 60% ground ball rate. More two-seamers for sure, power curve and slider with the occasional changeup. You see the 9-9 record with a 4.34 earned run average. Been pitching really well as of late. Even when the numbers don't show it. Actually been saddled with 4 straight losses, but 4 out of 5 consecutive quality starts for Stroman. So throwing the ball well, got a lot of offensive support. Orioles have to be on their game tonight.
Fans are into this one right from the get-go. The obvious importance of this. We are ready. Adam Jones in. First pitch up the middle. It's going to be a tough play. Second base. And a good one made. Travis is back. He hadn't started or played in the first 2 games. Devin Travis gets the start at second base, and of course it's hit to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a little two-seamer right there off the glove of Stroman, but Travis, not really known for his defensive abilities, more of an offensive second baseman, makes a fine play, ranging on the shortstop side, off-balance throw to get Adam Jones, which is not an easy thing to do on an potential infield hit.
So we started out with some good D. Here is Kim, the hero last night. He will take the pitch. Young-Soo Kim delivering that blast in the 9th inning after Jonathan Scope picked up the 1-out single. Bourne ran for him, stole second. Kim got the homer. And the Orioles came away with their 4th win going into the 9th inning, trailing on the Kim homer. 0-2 count. 25-year-old right-hander. 1-1 against the Orioles this year. 0-2 delivery will miss away. Before we let it go too far, I want to send our thanks out. South Korean TV, MBC Sports. If you heard our open tonight, you heard a combined Kim home run call, mine and the South Korean announcer, which our crew did a great job on putting that together. That was delicious. 1-2 delivery, and he's got another base hit into left field. So Kim is on with a single with 1 away.
Another beautiful swing. Young-Soo Kim, Blue Jays defense behind Stroman this evening. Carrera, Pilar, and Saunders in the Jays outfield. Tulowitzki and Travis will turn 2 up the middle. Donaldson and Encarnacion again on the corners. The veteran backstop Martin in for the 3rd straight game.
So the Orioles get a man on. They ever love to get a lead. Manny Machado has had an 0 for 8 in this series. Manny is 3 for 9 with a home run. Lifetime against Stroman. His delivery will be taken down low. But Mike was talking about those games Stroman has pitched in. The team has failed to score a run in his last 2 starts, and they haven't scored in 3 of his last 4. You might not want to buy a lotto ticket. Not right now. No. You might want to wait till next year on that one.
Right.
John Gibbons, manager of this Toronto team. A game up in the wild card over the Orioles. That one in the air to right field, hit pretty good. Saunders is there, though. He was deep. Sit down. You think of these 2 teams, you think power, offense. Not in September. Look at these numbers. The team ERA in September for the Orioles is 2nd best in the league and 4th best team ERA. The runs scored, the O's are 12th in September, and Toronto, tied for 14th, is tied for last with 95. Yeah. Whoever would have thought that?
No kidding. Both powerhouse offenses have been promoted as that all year long, and slowing down at the wrong time.
Boy, that one pounded up the middle. Trumbo's on with a base hit going after the first pitch. Kim goes down to second base. Trumbo is carrying a hot bat. 4th hit, 4 for 9 in this series.
A lot of balls directed towards the middle of the field. You like to see that from this Orioles offense early going, not pulling off the baseball at all. Kim actually going the other way. Nice base hit there from Trumbo.
Well, the Orioles get a couple of hits here in the first inning. Now see if they can pick up an RBI. Matt Wieters standing in with a 4-game hit streak. He's gone 3 for 7 in the series. The Orioles are 3 for 18 with runners in scoring position in the first 2 games. They have not had good numbers in this regard in the month of September. One of the reasons that their runs scored is so far down. They have dropped from, they've been 1 or 2 most of the year as a team in the American League in these situations. They've dropped all the way down to 10th, hitting .260 now as a team.
Yeah, and this isn't something that's happened since beginning of September. It's been since the All-Star break.
Yeah. On the way, that one's got a chance to fall in. Kim's going to make the turn, and he will not matter. Going out, Travis. How about that? A couple of pretty good plays on that right side. And the man in the ball game got him. Internationally known for those on the go as the shirt of choice no matter where you may be seated. Beautiful young woman will take your picture if you have that shirt on. Toronto Blue Jays, it'll be Carrera, Donaldson, Encarnacion, Bautista, Martin, Tulowitzki, Saunders, Pilar, and Evan Travis back in. Josh Donaldson, the hot bat over the last 5.
Now let's take a big look at Ubaldo Jimenez's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 57% of the time. Good 2-seamer. Breaking ball, the hard slider. He softens it up for the slow breaking ball and the split finger. And he has had command of all of his pitches. Earned run average keeps lowering. Ubaldo riding a serious wave of confidence right now. All the numbers you see in here have come down dramatically over the last month and a half. It's hitting .276 on the year against Ubaldo.
Ezekiel Carrera, who has had a magnificent series, 5-game hit streak. 4 for 7, a homer, 2 RBIs, 4 runs scored. You can't do much more than that for your club than what he has done. And even with Travis back in the lineup, Carrera's going to remain in the top spot. Travis will bat 9th because right now he's got the hot bat. Jimenez delivers to him, and the pitch will be taken inside. Of note, Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, number 3 with a strike zone favoring pitchers. We'll see whether that holds up tonight. 3-1 delivery on the way. Every time we talk about that, of course, it's completely unofficial, but it is based on what they have done historically behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. Not a negative or a positive, just the way it is. Ted Barrett, Will Little, Lance Barksdale make up the crew. Ted Barrett's the crew chief at first base. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery. Carrera goes after it, left field, and that's a base hit. Being a little bit careful with the extra bounce you get on this carpet, Kim decided I better stay back.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense tonight. Kim, Jones, and Bourne in the O's outfield. Hardy and Scope up the middle. Machado and Davis on the corners, and Wieters doing the catching this evening. Take a look at this ball dropping in front of Kim. Made a commitment, hard step to come and get it, but did not want to get caught in between. And Get Carrera on second or even third base. Pretty smart play right there by Kim.
Now, base stealers run against Jimenez 25 out of 29. Carrera is a base stealer. Here's Donaldson, and obviously because of that, a little attention, more than a little, will be played by Ubaldo to Carrera over there at first base.
And I'll tell you what, even with Ubaldo on the mound, Matt Wieters has still been able to throw out runners. Now, Matt anticipates the stolen base, and he's been coming out of the chute a little bit quicker.
Donaldson with the big cut will foul that one back. Home run in this series, a couple of RBIs. Matt has thrown out 35% of base stealers. He's up there among the leaders.
Yeah, he's going to be tested tonight for sure.
Carrera 6 out of 10 stealing this year. Has not played a lot till the last month and a half. Good pitch by Ubaldo as he came inside on him. Jimenez gets ahead on the count 0-2.
A really good fastball here. Wieters actually wanting it away, but the good movement as it darts across the plate, get under the hands of Donaldson.
Donaldson 5 for 26 and a home run. Matt sets up outside. That's where the pitch is. Give him a look. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. For the Orioles starter, 0-1 this year in 4 games. 3 of them starts against the Blue Jays. His ERA against the Blue Jays this year just under 9.5. 1-2 pitch on the way. Donaldson on a bouncer takes it. And it goes to 2-2. Lifetime Jimenez a positive mark. He is 6-5 against Toronto here at Rogers Center. 1-3, ERA of 8.4 in 6 career games, 5 as a starter. Donaldson 2-ball, 2-strike count. May have been going right there. He had that front leg headed to second base.
Oh yeah, he was leaning big time. Nice move there by Ubaldo. They're extending the lead, and then the quick jab step. He's heading towards second base.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes, takes, Wieters throw, 1 hop. Stolen base. Buck's crew will be taking a look at that one. Wieters made it a close play.
Yes, he did. Another quick catch and throw by Matt Wieters, and Jonathan Schoop has just been outstanding tagging this year, helping Matt Wieters out. Balls that have been going up the line. See Carrera quick look back in, and Scope's good at taking the ball up the line and putting that tag on the back part of the legs. Actually putting the tag back there, and did Carrera's hand get to the base? Jonathan Scope's foot was in front of the way. Might have blocked him out.
He gets the stolen base. Now a runner in scoring position, nobody out. 3-ball, 2-strike count on Donaldson. And a pitch away. Now Joe Morgan always used to tell me, the Hall of Famer with the Reds, who was a great base stealer, if you're stealing a base, you never look back. If it's a hit and run and hit, you look to see where the ball is. You agree with that?
Yeah, well, I do.
He looked back. I was kind of surprised.
He did look. So I think it was probably a straight steal, but the count on Donaldson, you got to look and make sure that he doesn't put it in play. If it is a straight steal, 0-0 count, many base stealers just keep their head down and go, and many hitters understand the count and when a base stealer is going to run. So yeah, the guy will put his head down and go, but most guys aren't those true base stealers, so they have to look back in.
Well, the walk surrendered. Donaldson's on. Nobody out, 2 on. Encarnacion is 0 for 7 in the series. He's hitting .231 lifetime with a home run off of Ubaldo Jimenez. Encarnacion puts it in the air to right field over towards the corner. Runner tagging at second. Bourne is there. Throw will come into second base, and moving up on it, runners at first and third, 1 down. So he got a runner moved up. He wanted more than that, though. He wanted an RBI.
Oh yeah, he's all about driving runs in right there. I mean, he's happy he was able to advance the runner. Some high fives coming into the Blue Jays dugout, but he definitely wanted to do a little more damage than that.
That'll bring Bautista up. First and third, 1 away. Orioles have been able to hold him down in the series and on the year. He is 0 for 6 in the series. He's DHing tonight, hitting just .222 off the Orioles this year. 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. Early big at bat. Good pitch in there for a strike. Bautista trying to pick up an RBI and get his ball club on top early in this ball game. This is one where if you're the Blue Jays, you got to score. You had first and second, nobody out. Now first and third, one away. Bautista takes. That's a strike of the knees.
The Blue Jays have been pretty good about scoring first here. This 3-game set, both games making marks in the first inning.
They are 2 for 12 so far in the series in these situations. 0-2 delivery. Bautista upstairs, and he is gone. He was dominated by Ubaldo on that at bat. Got ahead of him and got him.
It sure was. Great job. Nice job mixing up his pitches. Start him off with a slider, then a good fastball, and then you got to go out of the zone. He does, elevating the heater. And Bautista basically just giving up on this at bat. Halfway through the swing, knew he was done.
So 2 away. Jimenez a chance to get out of it. Russell Martin a 1 for 6 in the series. Runners in scoring position on the year for him is 263. In the dirt. Back to first base goes Donaldson. Wild card race just in a shambles. In a good way for fans, I guess. Not for the teams in particular, who'd like to have some idea of where they're going come next week, but it looks like this thing's going right down to Sunday or Monday even. 1-0 delivery on the way in the dirt. Wieters makes the stop. The Detroit Tigers were rained out today. They will play their game on Monday if necessary. They are just a game out of a wild card spot. Seattle's 2 games out. Houston's 3.5 out. They got to run the table and have help if they're going to make it.
Yeah.
But Detroit, Seattle, they're in it, and the Orioles are battling Toronto for the top spot in the wild card. Strike called at the letters up high to him, and the count will go to 2-1 on Martin. Burr on with the base hit at third. Donaldson the walk at first. 2-ball, 1 strike delivery by Jimenez on the inside corner for a strike. That's what we told you.
Yeah. Ubaldo will take that for sure. 2-seamer. Wieters setting up in there, but the 2-seam action takes it off the inside corner, but Wieters catches it well. And Martin will have a continued conversation with Angel Hernandez when he gets behind the plate.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and that one's going to be inside. So this will allow Donaldson to take off at first base with a full count, 2 away. Davis hollers over. He's going to move off the bag. Tulowitzki on deck. 3-2, 2 down. Runner goes. Little looper. Marty's going to go to first with it. And diving, not in time, is Russell Martin. And a great job to get out of a jam by Jimenez here in the first inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Scoreless after 1. Center this year. The Jays have had the advantage. They've won 6 of the last 8 here against the Orioles.
Yeah, pitching just a little bit better, and really that's what's carried the Blue Jays all season long. But of course, offensively, then they've been very productive against the Orioles, averaging the 6 runs per game. And the Orioles pretty successful all year long, staying up over 5, but they've had some struggles against the Blue Jays, especially here at the Rogers Center, under 4 or 4.4 runs per game, and they struggle with the runners in scoring position. That continues and has continued into this series. They need those clutch base hits, the timely hits with runners in scoring position start picking up. Of course, pitch just a little bit better. Come away with a win here.
Stroman waits for his infield to shift around. Chris Davis, who'd been batting in the number 2 spot for a number of games, moves down. He is 1 for 8 in the series. Still up there among the leaders in home runs with the 38 he has put up. Pitch taken for a strike. In this game, you've got the major league leader, of course, Mark Trumbo in homers, 46. Encarnacion tied for second, 42. Chris Davis has got 38. He is 7th. And Donaldson right behind him with 37. All on this field tonight. There is Josh Donaldson. Chris Davis, a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 2 for 10 lifetime off the right-hander. That one will miss down low, skimming out across the plate, actually, and a 2-1 count.
A couple good takes right there from Chris Davis. Definitely have to get Stroman elevated, lay off those sinkers down low. Very good when it's down around the knees.
2-1 delivery. Off the fist. Stroman's got a cover. Flip. Back in time. Encarnacion. And Davis is retired. Now, Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Roger Turek from Baltimore, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Grab a Home Run Riches scratch off before they're gone. You could win up to $50,000. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Good luck, Roger. Jonathan Schoop coming up, getting out of his 0 for last night. Couple of big hits, including that one in the 9th, providing the run that would score ahead of Kim on his home run. Jonathan 2 for 7 in the series. Stroman's pitch taken away. Really fine numbers put up this year against this ball club. He's a .299 career hitter against Toronto now. Down to third. Running throw Donaldson. 2 down.
Take a look at Stroman's pulling average by pitch type this season. A changeup doesn't really go-to pitch for him. Very rarely uses that, but he can spin it. So you see the average at 231 on the curveball, and how about on the slider? Just 156. His go-to out pitches, the power slider and curveball. Fastball, the batting average up quite a bit at 304, but it's his 2-seamer that is his go-to fastball. And we've seen the ground balls already come into play. 4-seamer is probably the one that gets hit a little bit more. Ground ball percentage up over 60% this year.
He is the most pronounced ground ball pitcher in the majors this year, with that 66 rather. No, it is 60.5% ground balls. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Michael Bourne in the lineup in right field in this game, but Showalter always looks at the numbers of hitters' particular ballpark. 346 for Bourne in this yard, and he mentioned it before the game as to one of the reasons why he's getting the start in right. Also, he's had a couple of hits and 5 at bats. Off Marcus Stroman. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he gets it. Stroman gets his first strikeout. Orioles are retired in order. Tulowitzki leads it off, coming back.
Yeah, say Ubaldo has had an amazing turnaround this season. That first half was very troublesome. Obviously, headed him into the Orioles bullpen where he wasn't used at all. That 703 earned run average, but since then, Ubaldo has found his delivery. He's been able to repeat it in his 7 starts, a 2-2 record with a 274 earned run average. And how about the curveball? Command of the curve has been outstanding. Not hanging it for the All-Star break. That 533 batting average, burying it now at 214.
It's our PNC inside the numbers. Here is Tulowitzki. Shift on against him. 1 for 8 off of Ubaldo. And the off-speed breaking pitch had him jelly-legged a little, but it'll miss for the ball. Good series for him with the 4 for 7. Tulowitzki carrying a hot bat, getting his Tulo chant from the big house on hand. Over 44,000 each of the first 2 ball games. 1-0 delivery again, off speed and away. 1-1.
A nice late movement right there on the breaking ball from Ubaldo. Slider off the slow hook.
Tulowitzki against the Orioles this year, 9 RBIs, 3 home runs. Saunders and Pilar will be due up. Pitch taken away. Jimenez in a site where he had a very big win in 2014, September 16. Orioles clinched the American League East Championship, beating Toronto 8-2 in that ball game. First time since '97 the Orioles had won an Eastern title. First time since '69 a division title in front of their home fans. And it was Ubaldo Jimenez who got the start and picked up the win in that game. He hadn't been in the starting rotation for a month before coming away with that W. That one will be bounced outside, and a full count, 3-2. So Jimenez going the distance on Tulowitzki. Wieters moves away. Pitch came in, popped up though. Manny Machado has got room and puts it away. Tulowitzki retired on the 3-2 pop-up. Tomorrow is your deadline to guarantee your opportunity to purchase tickets for any potential 2016 postseason games at Camden Yards. Don't miss your opportunity to getting the priority. All you got to do is place a deposit on any full or partial plan for next year. Go to Orioles.com/postseason. Here's Michael Saunders. Saunders a 1 for 6. Orioles have cooled off his numbers. He's hitting .410 against them this year. 7 homers, 15 RBIs. And the pitch will be taken for a strike.
Yeah, most of that damage done in the first half against the Orioles. He just wasn't missing.
He has the 3rd highest batting average against the Orioles this year. Another one that's going to be foul back. Jose Abreu with the White Sox. George Springer of Houston both hit .500 against the Orioles this year. Then Saunders at .410. Mookie Betts at .408. And Kyle Seager of Seattle at .381. Top averages against O's pitching this year. 0-2 delivery. Another souvenir for the folks.
Ubaldo mixing it in nicely. I think Matt Wieters and Ubaldo have said, listen, if we're going to have success in the last month of the season, we're going to have to throw everything at them, even the kitchen sink at times, and they're doing that right now. Matt Wieters, a couple 3-2 counts in this ball game, some off-speed pitches. He's just very unpredictable right now, and you can tell when the Blue Jays approach, they're all a little bit in between, not knowing what to expect from Ubaldo.
And so long as he keeps those walks down, that really forces hitters to be ready to go. And in the second half since the All-Star break, he's improved on the base on ball numbers. That one's going to be up and in. He had Saunders leaning in on that one. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Saunders 255. Pretty good production. 57 RBIs. In and out right field, DHing. Shift on in the infield. And that pitch will miss inside. So a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Season series has already been won by the Jays, 10-8 against the Orioles. In this, the final game regular season for their matchup. And he will take the pitch away. So after getting ahead 2 strikes, another 3-2 count.
Pitch count up early in this ball game. So Ubaldo could just prove that he can throw some strikes here, get some early contact.
8th pitch of this at bat. 3-2, and he got him right there in the inside corner. So twice, 3-2 counts. He's been able to come back and record the out. 2 strikeouts.
Take a look at the Mercedes-Benz pitch track, the best or nothing, and Ubaldo filling it up here with the 2-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, coming back to catch that inside corner. A lot of work. Ubaldo wins that battle.
2 down, bases are empty here in the 2nd inning. Kevin Pillar, center fielder, 6 for 16 off Ubaldo. Takes the pitch for a strike. Talking with Kevin, he's thinking about playing in the World Baseball Classic for Israel. Qualifies for that team. He's out of Woodland Hills, California. Swing and a miss on a pitch away. And Israel is qualified to go into one of the 4 rounds of 4. They're going to be in Seoul, South Korea. It'll be South Korea, Taipei, the Netherlands, and Israel who will make up that foursome when we get to the World Baseball Classic. So it'll be in the home country of Sun Young Kim.
Wow.
Probably will play for South Korea.
Heck yeah.
May face this man on the
Right.
opposing team, Israel. Israel beat Great Britain 9-1 to qualify. And that one bounces off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strike count. It's a big deal for Israel. They're trying to generate baseball interest. They had a league that ran there for 1 year.
Yeah.
Had their own league. It didn't go. Fouled away, protecting.
Didn't that Dan Duquette actually start
Yes.
the league over there?
Yes. Tough when you don't have any background. You don't have the facilities. You don't have the history. You don't have anything. You're really out of loincloth trying to create baseball in Israel. But the number of expats who go there now from around the world in the U.S.
Yeah.
Interest has developed. So they've got some baseball programs going. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pillar will foul that one back, so he's working it to extend the inning against Ubaldo. Saunders had an 8-pitch at bat. This is going to be the 7th pitch of this at bat for Pillar. 1-2, delivery again. Same result.
Fouling off some tough pitches right now. Ubaldo moving it all over the place. And looking good. Gonna stay on the perimeter.
Here's the 1-2 again. And he went, I think. Nope. Held back. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, pretty close. Now, see, he's got to protect out there because Ubaldo has the ability to pull that 2-seam fastball back in. So he'll work the power slider. You see the bite there. Now, he'll probably go back out there with the slider, but certainly the ability to bring the 2-seamer back.
Way behind on that swing. Bourne will move over near the line, make the catch in foul territory. So Jimenez retires the side in order. First 2 innings belong to the pitcher. by T-Mobile. And our notebook page to the East Winds. Clay Buchholz is back. 4-0, 264. Last 7 starts. He's in the rotation. Boston has finished either first or last in the division 5 years. They were last in 12, 14, 15, first in 13 and 16. How about that? 3 other teams finish in first place twice and last 3 times in a 5-year span. That's all. And the Yankees eliminated with a loss. If they lose or an Orioles win tonight, they will officially be eliminated from postseason play. No score in this one. J.J. Hardy, a couple of hits, 8 at bats. First 2 games. He's kept his hit streak alive at 6. He has not had a hit of Marcus Stroman. 0 for 8 against the right-hander. 0-1's going to be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mother Nature may have something to say about what things are going to look like come Monday morning if the weather holds up, huh?
I can't even imagine what the scenarios could be on Monday.
1-1 delivery, swung out and missed. The Orioles are going, of course, to New York for 3. Toronto's going to Boston for 3. It's supposed to rain in both places on and off over the weekend. Tigers rain today, got canceled. It's raining here. That's the rain that's moving east and south. 1-2 pitch in the air to right towards the gap, and diving gets by him. That's going to roll all the way to the warning track. Michael Saunders made the attempt on it, could not get to it, and Hardy's got himself another base hit. In fact, a double to lead it off.
There you go. Orioles catching a break right there. Saunders looked like he was on it. Nice piece of hitting by J.J. Hardy. Staying on the cutter away. Look at the head position. And out there on the baseball, watching it contact. Saunders actually getting to this baseball, but off the top of the glove. And Hardy to pick up his 29th double.
That's his 2nd double in this series, and a little disgusted for not making the catch. Now the Orioles get another runner in scoring position. Big lead-off double. Here's Adam Jones, grounded out his first time up. Devin Travis made a fine play on him at second base. Showed bunt. He had Donaldson even with the bag at third. Donaldson had moved in a little bit even before the pitch.
Like that. Adam Jones getting the infield to move around a little bit. Adam can do a couple different things here. He can maybe take it down to Donaldson or even push bunt to get Hardy over to third base.
1-0 count. Real good lead at second. Jay's not holding Hardy at all. No bunt there. Big count on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball and a 1 ball 1 strike count. For Adam here in the month of September, numbers have slipped a little bit, hitting .255 this month. He has had 4 home runs. 1 ball 1 strike delivery. Adam on a fister. 1-2.
Went at it the right way, though. Really pulled the hands in tight there. That is a nasty pitch. 94-mile-an-hour sinker just boring in on Adam Jones' hands. And tell his thought process right now. Try to get J.J. Hardy over to third base. And you see him lead with the hands right there. Try to get to that fastball. Very tough pitch to get to. Now it's all about battle.
Stroman's got the sign for the 1-2. Adam goes after it the other way. How precious are the runs? Well, as we mentioned earlier, they are for both these teams. The Orioles have scored just 27 runs in the last 11 games. They have scored 3 or fewer 10 times. 2 runs or fewer 7 times. I mean, it's amazing with all this firepower in this lineup. And it's made the home runs even more important.
Yeah, sure has.
1-2 delivery on the way. Ground ball to first. Will get the runner moved up. Encarnacion took a look over, thought about making that tough throw, but that's a real gamble. So a productive out for Adam Jones. Well, here comes Kim, who knows all about living on the long ball.
Yeah, sure do. I mean, the Orioles certainly very important hitting the home runs. 41 game-winning RBIs on the home run, 3rd most in Major League Baseball. 150 solo home runs, most in Major League Baseball. And of course, 51.8% of their runs coming from the long ball. 375 runs. 15 games, though, with all the team's runs scored from the home run. That's tied for 4th most. So it certainly does mean a lot to this team offensively.
And certainly looking for a low-scoring game is the Toronto manager, John Gibbons. The infield has moved in. We're in the 3rd inning. 1 down, runner at third base. Kim gets the advantage of having a drawn-in infield. Stroman with a 1-0. And that one's going to be taken for a strike. Here's the winner.
Yeah, full count here. Fouled off 3 tough pitches, and finally a mistake. Fastball in the inner third, and he just clears the hips, and the bat head catches it out in front. Excitement all over the place for the Orioles.
Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Dave Wallace gets the award for presentation to Kim for home run. That was Dave doing the bow as Kim came down the end of the line. 2 ball, 1 strikeout. No score. Orioles trying to get on the board here in the third. And the infield is way in. Pitch on the way, and that'll miss down low. Well, the count goes to 3-1. Kim has had limited chances with runners in scoring position, but like most other things he's done it real well. 298. 3 ball, 1 strikeout. Hardy's at third. Kim takes it inside. He draws the walk.
What a great at bat right there. Laid off some tough pitches from Stroman. Borderline pitches. Like strikes all the way until that last second. Concentration once again from Kim. Put some pressure on Stroman.
So now the infield will back up with 1 away and look for the double play. Manny Machado looking for his first hit in the series. 0 for 9. Manny 257 now with runners in scoring position. He's had more chances in these situations than any other Oriole this year. Stroman takes a second look over to first base of Kim. Encarnacion will hold on him. Hardy at third. Manny an even 300 coming into this game against Toronto in the year. 10 RBIs. Machado on a check. It's a strike. Stroman is coming off a ball game where he gave up nothing to the Yankees. 1 hit, 7 innings in his last outing. 0-1 delivery. That one in the air to center. That's going to get 1 in. Way back near the warning track. Kevin Pillar throws come into second. Hardy will score. And the Orioles on the board. A 1-0 lead. RBI for Machado.
Situational baseball right there. Nice AB by Adam Jones to get JJ over to third base. Some quality AB from Kim to get the walk, and Manny waiting him out. Probably getting the sinker he can handle. And tell you what, Stroman lucky that one wasn't a 3-run homer. The Orioles make the first mark.
Oh, Manny gets the RBI. Smiling about it on the way back. 95 on the year for Manny Machado. Up the middle, off the glove, directed to second base. Got to go to first. Travis gets it over there in time. Trumbo's hit a couple right up the middle in his 2 at-bats. Sac fly, Manny Machado. Orioles on top. one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Machado getting the RBI, closing in on the 100 RBI mark for the Orioles in 95. Trumbo, the only one who's passed the century mark, has got 106, and Ubaldo's got a lead. Bottom of the third inning. Devon Travis, welcome back after the melee with the Yankees. Shoulder that's bothered him all year. He said he reached down into the pile. Shoulder arm got caught. He pulled back and re-aggravated it. First game he's played in here in this series.
We're lucky to have him back.
Yeah. He does come in with no hits in his last 11 at bats, but over a longer period than that, he's been one of their hottest hitters. 0-2 pitch, and that one's going to be taken away. He's 4 for 11 with a home run lifetime off Jimenez. So they end up with 2 leadoff batters really in the lineup. Not unusual. Travis hitting ninth, Guerrero batting first. That's going to be up high. Ubaldo extending these counts. He's working his way into outs, but he's taking some pitches to get there.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job getting ahead, but my goodness. Working the perimeter, and the Blue Jays showing some patience. But hey, tip your hat to Ubaldo. I mean, the ability to get ahead is the most important thing. And he's had a consistent mix of all of his pitches. 23 pitches in the first, 23 in the second. Gets that pitch count up early. Way too early.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that's another one fouled back. Chris Tillman last night really ground his way through a game, and I mean that as a great compliment. He gave up just 2 runs, 1 earned, 6 hits over 5 2/3 innings. Chris could not get the fastball to go where he wanted it to go all night, and yet was able to find some very big outs. He got some good defensive plays behind him, but he really, I mean, he gave the Orioles what they needed, a chance to win.
Yeah, it was a nail biter. I mean, 5 out of the 6 innings Tillman was in there. The leadoff man got on.
Yeah,
he had to work his way out of quite a few jams.
8th pitch of the at bat, another long one, and another 3-2 count. Travis, Guerrero waiting on deck. See what he does. 3-2. He'll take it, and he's on. 2 walks surrendered. Leadoff man on, second time in 3 innings. Orioles have just announced a pair of postseason push fan rallies to get you powered up and help the team in the possible return to the postseason. First rally sponsored by Budweiser and will be at Mother's North Grill in Timonium tomorrow beginning at 5:30. Second, sponsored by Coca-Cola, will take place Saturday at 1 at the Walmart in the Towson Marketplace. Join former players, Oriole Bird, Oriole Promotions. Bunted down the line. That's a tough bunt. Lip is there in time to get the out. Good play by Jimenez on a quality bunt by a speedy Carrera. It's a sacrifice. Devon Travis goes to second.
What a play by Ubaldo. This ball's checking up, kicking around. Ubaldo, the good concentration, the power underhand feed to get Carrera by the half step. Concentration by Davis as well, really not knowing what to expect, where this ball is coming out of.
So good defense, solid, and a good bunt. Gets the runner down to second with 1 away. And Donaldson coming up. Donaldson, 265, runners in scoring position. He drew a walk his first time up. Now, Toronto's going to get a chance. Blue Jays left 2 on in the first inning. Late on a 90-mile-an-hour pitch, fouls it the other way, 0-1.
I think both managers obviously feeling the pressure of the lack of their offense is clicking right now. Gibbons had the infield in early, knowing it's probably going to be a low-scoring game. And how about the sac bunt here on Blue Jays in the 3rd inning?
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's what these teams are doing here. They've done it kind of quietly all year, but it's really showing up in September. 2 power-laden ball clubs relying on pitching and the manufacturing of runs to win games.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Good pickoff. He was taking a little too big a lead. So Jonathan Schoop moved in and then started to back off, then moved back. And Ubaldo made the throw.
Well, you got to do what you can to shorten up the lead. Don't give him an extra step, an extra inch can make a difference here. So Schoop staying in his back pocket.
1-1 delivery, ground ball to the middle. Hardy's there. He's going to go to first with it, and he'll get the out. Runner moves up. Travis goes to third, but there are 2 down. Fans, don't miss the latest happenings surrounding the O's. Text Orioles 29292 to sign up for MASN's in-game text message alerts. Best way to stay up to date with the Orioles, make sure you never miss a moment. Standard message and data rates may apply. Well, we mentioned this last night. Here is the second best RBI producer when there are 2 outs in the American League. Encarnacion flied out first time up. Pitch will be away for a ball. Hanley Ramirez of the Red Sox, the only player in the league with a better average with runners in scoring position and 2 down. Encarnacion rips it to third, picked up by Manny Machado. Plenty of time, and again Jimenez works out of a potential problem after the leadoff walk. We've completed 3. Orioles have a 1-0 lead. Brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Gary Thorne, Michael Bordick, inside the closed roof Rogers Center. It's been raining on and off outside all day, so thank goodness. Ubaldo, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, has not given up a run. Leadoff single. Carrera's the only hit off him. That was the first batter that he faced. Stroman has a walk and a strikeout as well. Orioles, though, have picked up a run on 3 hits against him. Each team has left 3 so far. Wieters popped out his first time up. That comes in with a 4-game hit streak. And a little roller. Encarnacion will take it himself. Take a look at our minor league report brought to you by PNC. PNC for the achiever in you.
How about the RBI leaders in Frederick? That's high A. Baltimore Orioles organization. Rodriguez leading the way with 93 RBI. Nealon 61. How about Bierfeld 53. Sawyer and Reyes on the list with 51. Pretty impressive numbers there. Young superstars in the making. Some solid years in Frederick.
Chris Davis up with 1 down, nobody on. Chris grounded out his first time up and goes the other way. He's got a base hit. Again, they put the full shift on. That's twice in this series that he has gone to left field or left center to pick up a base hit with a shift on.
Yeah, boy, he's done this a lot over the last month. Nice piece of hitting right there. Makes the ball travel. Really keeps you out of trouble.
So the Orioles get hit number 4. A couple of real power players down there at first. Here's Jonathan Schoop, who grounded out his first time up. 1 away and 1 on. Breaking ball that'll hit the inside corner. Well, there was a forecast for rain in New York. They're playing. Yankees have a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox in the 3rd inning. A Yankee loss, an Orioles win, and the Yankees are officially eliminated. 0-1 pitch on the way, and that one foul back. The Orioles in the Yankee series starting tomorrow. Gallardo will be going against Pineda. Miley is going to return. He's going directly to New York. Congratulate he and his wife on the birth of their new baby. He'll make the start Saturday, and probably Kevin Gausman on Sunday. Not official yet. The Yankees have not announced starters for 2 and 3. That one's going to be in the gap. Over to get it, Pilar making the turn, heading to third, Davis, and he'll get there easily. And Jonathan Schoop's bat has heated up. Another base hit.
A beautiful swing right there from Jonathan Schoop, and really it's all about staying to the big part of the field. Trying to do too much off Stroman, and he will expose you with that sinker. Elevates a fastball there. Schoop stays on top. Not trying to do too much. And the Orioles threatening again.
So Davis moves over to third base. Schoop with the base hit. His 3rd in this series. And Bourne, a strikeout victim. The RBI chance. Donaldson will play on the grass or carpet at 3rd. Warren goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. Took a little piece of him with it.
A piece of that sinker. Hammered it off the front foot.
Stroman induces a lot of double plays and all the ground balls that he picks up. That's what they're looking for here. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and then it'll be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Important. Stroman holds Schoop to as short a lead as he can if he wants to try for the double play. Not a big lead, but he's going to throw over anyway for that purpose.
Opportunity here with Bourne at the plate. Stroman maybe a little tentative about throwing his big breaking ball. Good about keeping it down, potentially bouncing it for strike 3. A race to get a swing. Eliminate that pitch. Elevated with the sinker. Of course, Chris Davis and Jonathan Schoop have to be aware of the breaking ball potentially down as well.
He's thrown 9 wild pitches this year. 1-1 delivery on the way. That one to third. Donaldson was in, going to try for 2 and gets 1 at second base. A run will score. Chris Davis crosses as Donaldson, who was in. I thought he might even go to the plate because Davis took off from third base.
Yeah, right in front of him there, but I think he thought ball hit hard enough that he gets it to Travis, be able to turn a double play, but the throw almost ended up in right field. Travis makes the spectacular play just to come down with this one. You see Donaldson's elbow dropping, and Travis jumps up, comes down on the base to get the second out. Pretty impressive play there by Devin Travis.
Another big run scores. The Orioles take a 2-0 lead. Fielder's choice by Bourne, who will pick up RBI number 6 with the Orioles, and they all matter. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy will take the pitch. It is in there for a strike. Hardy delivered a double and scored in the 3rd inning on a sac fly by Manny Machado. 0-1 count with 2 down. These are the kind of games that we're talking about that Stroman's been involved in his last 4 starts. He doesn't give up much and they come hard, but Toronto doesn't score anything for him, so he loses. Or at least is a non-decision. He's not won a game since August 14. That was against Houston. Since then, he's had 3 no decisions and 4 losses. 0-2 pitch, and that'll be outside. 1-2.
Yeah, he's had some problems putting a win on the board, but the earned run average, even though he struggled a little bit with the win, still at 3.32 in his last 7 starts with an 0-4 record. And certainly pitching well enough to win.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Hardy fouled it off at his feet. And the count will stay at 1-2. As was true for all 3 of these games, but I thought last night more than game 1. There is a playoff atmosphere, not just on the field, but in the stands. You can feel it. Everything matters. Every play's big. Crowd in it right from the beginning. 1-2 delivery. Hardy takes, and it's a strike. Stroman picks up his 2nd K, but the Orioles get their 2nd run and lead it 2-0. Nolan Ariendo for 1, 40 homers, 130 RBIs each of the last 2 years. Joins Hall of Famers Chuck Klein and Jimmy Fox is the only 2 to have consecutive seasons with those numbers before the age of 26. The Royals are officially eliminated from the postseason. It is the 16th straight year no team will win consecutive titles. The Yankees won 3 back there in 98 through 2000. The 38th straight year no rematch in the World Series. Last time there was a rematch in the World Series, you got to go back to the Yankees Dodgers 97, 77 and 78. 0-1 delivery on the way. I think certainly part of that is what you got to go through to win a championship, how long the season becomes and how short the offseason is.
My goodness. Yeah. You think about the pitching that it has to take to make it pitch through, sometimes the beginning of November.
Yeah. Very, very tough to repeat. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Bautista called swinging strikeout first time up. Martin and then Tulowitzki. Jimenez gets him again. Bautista's just been frozen at the plate here, and credit to the Oriole pitchers in all 3 games.
Yeah, he's had some problems. Not happy with balls and strike calls throughout the series. Even Ubaldo going up and away. And the immediate reaction of Bautista.
He is struggling right now, even though he's had a good September. Leadoff man retired. Russell Martin grounded out his first time up. Jimenez working as quickly as we've seen him work. I mean, he's picked it up in the second half anyway, but tonight seems like he's just rolling.
I like that. Good tempo going. Get more aggressive in the strike zone. Got a 2-0 lead. Find a way to manage that pitch count. 67 already.
Dave Wallace has promoted the up tempo. 0-2 delivery. What a breaking ball. Had him fooled, but it just missed. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Russell Martin a hit, 7 at bats in this series. A couple of home runs this year off the Orioles. That'll be in the dirt. This has kind of been the MO in this game for Ubaldo. he gets a couple of strikes, then either goes 2-2 or 3-2 on the hitter.
Yeah.
But gets the outs. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, reaching. Davis will go to the bag on this one. A couple of quick outs here in the 4th inning. Well, the Orioles are proud to once again host the Longevity Foundation's Breathe Deep Baltimore 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer in memory of the O's late public relations director, Monica Pence Barlow. We hope you'll find out more and participate. Go to Orioles.com/longevity. It'll take place Saturday, October 22 at the ballpark. 2 down, nobody on. Tulowitzki. 1 hit for Toronto, the leadoff batter. Carrera, 1st inning. Then sent a couple of walks, their only base runner. That pitch will be up high for a ball. And is dominating on the mound so far. Tulowitzki will take it. It's at the knees for a strike. Tulowitzki here in September, 277, a couple of home runs. He's had some big RBIs. Pitch towards the outside and misses. 2-1.
Real good pitch though. Around the outside corner, working that outer edge on Tulowitzki.
2-1 delivery. Tulo right back to the mound. Menez has it. Menez dominating. This is what we have seen, talked about it since the All-Star break. Waldo Jimenez, who had shuffled himself out of the rotation, is back in, and you're seeing why. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by M&T Bank, understanding what's important. Rogers Center, where the Orioles have the 2-0 lead. World Cup going on a few blocks away. Canada playing in that one. A lot of sports here in this city, and they're hoping there'll be a lot more, as both these teams are hoping move beyond Sunday and into the wild card games. That's what's left. The divisions have been decided. What a crazy celebration to the Red Sox. Yankees get a grand slam walk-off, and then the Red Sox win and celebrate winning the division. That's pretty wackadoodle.
Yeah.
Pitch on the way, down to third. Donaldson. Adam Jones has been robbed a couple of times in this game. Well, Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area, brings you the schedule. Visit them in store or online. Mile1.com.
This will do it. Regular season ending in New York, taking on the Yankees tomorrow night. 4 o'clock game start time on Saturday, and 3 o'clock start time on Sunday.
Pitch is taken down low. Kim getting on base twice, single and a walk, stranded both times. One away, top of the 5th inning. Stroman's delivery is a heater that's going to catch the inside corner for a strike. And Stroman certainly doing his part so far in this ball game. 1-1 delivery, chopper. Devon Travis. He's getting the sinker working. Couple of ground balls here. Don't miss your chance to lock in your postseason tickets now. Placing a deposit on full or partial season plans for next year. Tomorrow is your deadline to guarantee your access to the postseason tickets. Visit Orioles.com/postseason. Find out how. Manny Machado, an RBI sac fly in the 3rd inning. Michael Boyd, an RBI fielder's choice ground ball in the 4th. The Orioles 2 runs. Hit it hard right at Pilar. Never moved. 1-2-3 inning. Roman sets him down. The Orioles maintain the lead though 2-0. Tigers-Indians game was postponed today. They waited 3+ hours and just could not get it in. They will make it up if necessary Monday. The Tigers are a game out of the 2nd wild card spot behind the Orioles. Cardinals rookie Alex Reyes starting against the Reds tonight. St. Louis, they're a game behind the Giants for the 2nd wild card spot. Seattle's 2 games behind the O's for that 2nd wild card position. They've got to sweep Oakland and hope for some help in order to move up. And Houston, there you go. Foul back. Michael Saunders leading it off. Should the Orioles and Toronto have a tie for the wild card spot, meaning both would go, Toronto has won the season series, so they would be the host for any such game if the 2 teams tied with identical records for the wild card. Then there are about 9,000 other permutations, combinations, which I don't even want to touch. 1-1 strike delivery by Jimenez. Saunders, a strikeout victim, first time up.
That's what we've seen the whole game. Ubaldo getting ahead again.
Drops one outside. But again, close enough to make it interesting.
Yeah.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Saunders, Pilar, Travis, 7, 8, 9. 2-2 delivery on the way, and he had a reach, hit him in the batter's box.
We've seen that a lot from the Blue Jays, reaching out to either get the slider or that split finger. Aldo's been featuring many times deep in the count. 3-2 counts. He's throwing on off-speed pitches.
Saunders has to step out after the foul ball to try and slow down the Orioles starter. 2-2 delivery, shift on in the infield. Saunders takes it. It's inside and low. So yet another 3-2 count. Waiting on deck, Pilar, who had a long at bat last time up before flying out. 3-2 delivery. Saunders yanks it. Davis right there. That was hit right into the glove. He didn't have to go anywhere for the line drive out.
Boy, good thing. That thing's heading down to the right field corner. Definitely extra bases. A little split finger. Saunders drops the head on. Great at Chris Davis.
Mustard seed was on that one.
Yeah.
We'll ring up Kevin Pilar again on a 3-2 count. Jimenez wins the battle. Pilar flied to right field his first time up. He'll take the pitch up high for a ball. Pilar this season, 9 RBIs against the Orioles, 1 home run against them. Outstanding defensive work for him and all the numbers that rate center fielders. He is way up there in all of them. Adam Jones, 2 real good ones in this game. Pitch, a strike, which he didn't think it was.
A lot of hitters turning around, having conversations. Home plate umpire Angel Hernandez. That two-seamer looked like it caught the inside corner.
That's going to be a little bit low. So he falls behind him. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pilar goes after it. That'll be fouled off outside of third. Comeback ability by Evaldo in this game is pretty amazing in these at-bats.
Really
he's walked only 2.
Yeah, once he had 5 full counts, maybe 6.
And another one right here. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be foul back. Another long at bat. These 3-2 counts, 6, 7, 8 pitch at bats, upping the pitch count to 87. 3-2 delivery on the way. That one down the line and right will head to the seats. Souvenir land, and the count will stay at 3-2.
Man, they are just not getting to the fastball from Jimenez, and it's because he's mixing in so many off-speed pitches. They're just in between. I don't know what the heck he's going to flip up there.
Pilar hitting .301 at home this year, .230 on the road. Pilar dribbles that one. Manny Machado after hustle it over. Left the arm, got the out. Pilar is retired, and there are 2 down. Go beyond the stadium. Discover the Venice on Florida's Gulf Coast. Sarasota, recently recognized as one of the top 2 happiest seaside towns in America by 2015 Coastal Living magazine. Plan your trip. Visit Sarasota.org. So Evaldo has had 8 full counts in this game.
My goodness.
That's an extraordinarily high number. That pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Devon Travis drew a walk, stranded in the 3rd inning. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Orioles, no runs, 1 hit for Toronto. Another one right there for a strike. Again, a discussion, but those 2 in particular look pretty good.
Yeah. Good fastball right at the knees, all in the box in the pitch track.
There's the 0-2 delivery on the way. We'll take that one outside. This is start number 25, appearance number 29 for Jimenez this year. 1-2 delivery, and that one grounded to short. Hardy gets the big charity hop on that one and records the out. Another solid inning. Retires the side. That's 9 in a row he has set down. Trying to take 2 out of 3 on Maryland Life Casino inside the numbers. Home runs.
Mark Trumbo having a career year. Has got him on this list of the single season home run leaders for the Orioles. 1954. Of course, Davis on the list a couple times. Brady Anderson in 96 hitting 50. Frank Robinson, Gentleman Jim Gentile back in 61 with the 46. And there's Trumbo this year, 46 long balls. Career high and the major league home run leader.
So he will stand in, having picked up a very important 46 last night. 8th inning, 2 down, nobody on, first Oriole run. Base hit, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Stroman delivers a strike. Again, the pitchers dominating the offenses in this ball game. Top of the 6th inning. Stroman with a walk and 2 strikeouts. The Orioles chasing that franchise mark as a team. They've got 247 home runs. That is 10 shy of the 1996 record of 257. So the chances of reaching that are not good.
It's going to be tough.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Trumbo will take the pitch. That'll be away. Stroman is getting used to these kind of games, and he wish he wasn't. Where he pitches well and no runs are scored for him. Here's the 2-1 delivery off the fist. And look out. Tulowitzki comes over and puts it away. 1 down. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 supporting Be More for Healthy Babies. 454 walks, $22,700. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Wieters has popped out, grounded out, and drills one in the air to right center field. Saunders going back, and we'll get there. One of the few pitches up that the Orioles could get after.
Yeah, finally ball right there deep into the outfield. Getting on the slider. Wieters just missing a home run.
Marcus Stroman has given up 21 home runs this season. Righties, lefties, both in average, and home runs are almost identical. 11 home runs lefty, 10 righties, 264 lefties, 261 righties. Speaking of home runs, Davis going to get a base hit. Launches that one against the shift over Travis's head. So Chris is on with his second hit. He is 2 for 3 in the ball game.
Sets him up. Takes a fastball the other way for a base hit. And this pitch on the inside corner. Chris Davis clearing it out of there. See that front hip going and that bat head following a bullet up over the head of Travis.
Something about this ballpark. He's got a .313 lifetime average in this park. Chris Davis. Jonathan Schoop a base hit. He is 1 for 2. Schoop will pop it up first base side and out of play. Jonathan now with 3 hits in 9 at bats in this set. Great news for the Orioles here in this final week. See his bat coming forward again. What a season he has had offensively and defensively at second base. I'm not going to say it's a real breakout year necessarily, because he was also pretty darn good last year.
Yeah.
He solidified his mark this year. Pitch taken down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, I think it's just really important a player like Jonathan Schoop learn how to play every day, which he has this season, and stayed healthy. It's a huge concern for Jonathan Schoop. He and both Manny Machado had some injuries early on in their careers.
Fair ball, no. Foul ball. Nice play, but doesn't matter. Donaldson, Encarnacion. Donaldson had to let it go. He wasn't sure.
Yeah, you better make sure. You turn around and look at the umpire. It's going to be a little too late.
Jonathan with a 1 and 2. Chris Davis base hit on it first. Orioles have 6 hits. Toronto has 1. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Scope will take it away. Count goes 2-2.
Well, Stroman not a big guy. I don't even think he's 6 feet tall, so tough for him to create those downhill angles that you hear so much about for pitchers. Big guys like Chris Tillman on the bump where they can really drive it downhill. Stroman's got to do it with his movement. We've seen the great movement on the sinker. Good velocity, 93, 94, and it, boy, it drops off the table much like a split finger. And of course, he has the power slider as well.
He's one of the game's really good young pitchers. 9-9 mark. 3 ball, 2 strike delivery. Runner goes, shattered bat. Barrel goes to short, so does the ball. Tulowitzki the play, got him. The barrel actually went further than the ball did, ended up just touching the outfield part of the carpet. Orioles lead it 2-0.
Here at the Rogers Center, and here's a look at the Geico highlights. Ubaldo, is the magic still working? Oh yeah, first inning, got himself into a little jam. Batista goes down. How about a 3-2 slider to get Martin and out of the inning? And the Orioles, how about the offense coming through? A little small ball. Hardy leading off the inning with a double. Jones gets him over. Machado in with the sac fly. Bourne hits a bullet down to Donaldson, loses the handle there, allows Davis to score. Potential double play. Orioles take the lead 2-0 here in the 6th inning. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Top of the order, Ezekiel Carrera on with a single his first time up, and the only hit that Toronto has, the base hit in the bottom half of the first inning. 9 in a row have been retired by Ubaldo Jimenez. Pitch taken inside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. A dominating first 5 innings for Ubaldo. 2-1. And the pitch will be a strike call. Up. It's been a strike all night though, and the count goes to 2-2. And that one fouled back off the mask. Zipped right across the helmet part on Matt Wieters.
Spun it right around, didn't it?
Wow. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Jimenez, after his 8th win, he's 7-12. The ball club has gone 12-12 in the 24 starts that Jimenez has made this season. Guerrero with a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Donaldson and Encarnacion due up. That's right there. Inside corner strike. That's 4 Ks for Jimenez in the game.
Yeah, Ubaldo dealing right now. two-seam fastball. Matt Wieters setting up in there, bringing it back, helped out. Wieters' framing ability. Watch him suck it back into the zone. Hernandez giving Baldo the call right there.
One away. Leadoff man retired again. Leadoff man on just twice in 6 now for Toronto. Donaldson has drawn a walk and he is grounded out. Donaldson going for the 3-run homer with nobody on right there. You can see frustration building up in these at bats for the Blue Jays. I mean, they're not even making hard outs.
Yeah, well, they've got Ubaldo's got them all in between. He starts Carrera off with a fastball. Here he starts Donaldson off with a split finger. They're just guessing right now. Ubaldo's keeping them guessing. Not Wieters on the same page.
0-2 the count. Kind of wondering what's going on. And part of that set in last night. You go to the 9th inning, have a lead, and again could not win the ball game. That'll be outside for a ball. It's the 3rd time in their last 4 games that the bullpen has given up the lead in the 9th inning. Osuna now back-to-back save opportunities that he has blown. First time he's done that in his young career. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's there for a strike. I mean, he just frozen. There's no argument about the call. He just was frozen in the box.
Yeah, looking for something else. What are you looking for? The split finger, maybe the slider, bouncing it in the dirt. Aldo bringing back a 92-mile-an-hour two-seamer. 2 back-to-back strikeouts looking. Aldo Jimenez this season averaged 91.7 per start. A lot of times he was getting rocked out of there early in a ball game. 14 the high. I see him up over 100 now into this ball game.
2 down, nobody on. Pitch in there, Encarnacion. He has flied out and grounded out in the ball game. That one's going to be a little bit low. Baldo, of course, giving the Orioles a complete game. It's part of his starts here this year. Perhaps of all the Orioles pitchers, he wouldn't have picked Ubaldo the way it had gone in the first half of the year to be the one who was going to come away with a complete game, but he did.
Well, I don't know that a lot of people thought Ubaldo was going to be starting for the Orioles ever again after getting relegated to the bullpen.
Threw 114 pitches in that shutout game against Tampa Bay. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Encarnacion with the bases empty. Infield shifted over. Pitch taken. Be inside. Like last night, every pitch matters. Only 2 runs up on the board. It's kind of the reverse of the ball game last night, where Toronto got a run in the first, a run in the second, and the Orioles didn't get on to the 8th. Ooh, close. Didn't go. 2-out walk.
On a 3-2 count. Aldo the slider down and away. Encarnacion able to hold up.
9 3-2 counts in the ball game. Bautista. He has struck out twice. He's now 3 for 37 against Jimenez. Puts one up in the air to right center field. Adam Jones has got a bead on it. Adam back and will put it away. That's it in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. Orioles up 2-0. here at the Rogers Center, a 2-0 lead as the Orioles trying to take 2 out of 3 and tie Toronto for that top spot in the wild card race. Here is Michael Bourn. Bourn, Hardy, and Jones, 7th inning. 2 runs, 6 hits. The Orioles have left 5. Toronto, no runs, 1 hit. They have left 4 on base. Great battle here. Stroman and Jimenez, the 2 starters, have gone at it. Walk and 2 strikeouts for him. Jimenez 3 walks and 5 strikeouts.
That's been pretty impressive. Stroman just 71 pitches into the 7th inning. A lot of ground balls.
Orioles have been taken out 1, 2, 3 twice. Jimenez had retired 11 in a row prior to the walk to Encarnacion in that last half inning. Bourn will take the pitch. It'll be down low. Stroman thought he might have got that one. He didn't. Count goes to 2-2 on Bourn. RBI and that fielder's choice for Michael Bourn. Bourn in right field. It's the 6th start he's had in right since joining the Orioles. Here's the 2-2 off him in the batter's box. A couple of times tonight he's fouled one off the body.
I think that same pitch off his foot in his last at bat. But Angel Hernandez and Stroman have a little conversation. I think Stroman thought 1-2 pitch, a little slider down in the zone. Bourn might have been strike 3, so he started walking off. Angel, he had a couple words there, maybe making up a little bit.
2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Maybe not. Count goes 3-2. Full count, and he walked him. The Orioles get a lead-off walk here in the 7th inning. Boy, they will take that, and it's speed on base. Make every day a game day when you order the official Orioles Maryland license plate. Featuring the popular cartoon bird, help support Orioles Reach. Community proceeds for the Orioles Charitable Foundation. To date, over $110,000 raised thanks to the sale of these license plates. Go to Orioles.com/plates. Bourn on. Hardy a double. He has scored. Been called out on strikes. And a big jump. He's in with a stolen base.
Nah, you'd like to see that. Michael Bourn making an impact. Good jump right there. Yeah, he was thinking about stealing the whole way. Michael Bourn didn't look back in. And Hardy obviously aware. Nice job by Michael Bourn getting himself into scoring position. Crucial part of the ball game. Big stolen base in last night's game as well.
So Bourn now sets Martin up on the mound with his starter just to settle it down, because Stroman just forgot. He didn't look over at Bourn. He didn't try and hold him.
Yeah.
He was still upset, I think, about that last at bat. Thought he had Bourn on strikes.
Right. One mental slip, and that can cost you.
Well, the Orioles get a chance right here. Ooh-ah. Hardy squares around to bunt. That's what pitchers do if they see that coming. Right up and in.
Yeah, right 92 up and in to J.J. Hardy. Hoping for maybe one of those incidental contacts. Maybe a pop up or putting it in play weekly.
2-0 the count. Hardy does bunt. It will go foul. So JJ will come back with the non-bunt count. Only 1 sacrifice this year. We've seen this game being played much differently than most games by both teams.
Oh yeah.
We started early on with the infield moved in by Toronto, and it's been that way since.
Yeah, absolutely. Both managers realizing that, okay, it's probably not going to bust out here. Maybe not tonight. Doesn't look like either offense put something together. So small ball has come into play.
Squared around again. 3 ball, 1 strike count. JJ checking with Bobby Dickerson down at third. Bourne on at second base. They had the rotation, the wheel on, rotating the infield. Tulowitzki, the shortstop, to second. Devin Travis to first. Encarnacion moving in. See if the bunt is still on. 3-1 delivery. It is not. Grounded to short. Tulowitzki makes a nice play because he was going the other way in case of a bunt.
Well, Buck Showalter showing bunt throughout this whole at bat. Finally gets into a good hitting count. 3-1 for J.J. Hardy. Puts it over into the hole right there. Buck was hoping he'd put that one over the wall. Only a good 3-1 count. Guaranteed fastball. Tulowitzki's made some fine running plays in this series.
One down, runner stays at second. Adam Jones is 0 for 3. A couple of times good plays made on him. One by Devin Travis at second, another by Donaldson at third. 4 hits, 13 at bats in the series. Gets that one in the air, left center field. That is way back. Pilar up and makes the catch. Bourne will stay at second base as Adam Jones continues the night where he is that far from having 3 hits.
My goodness, I thought that ball was going to be up in the restaurant. Part of somebody's soup up there. It just died in center field, and Pilar making the play back on the wall. And unfortunately, I think Bourne thought the same thing. He ended up creeping off the base, getting halfway. Leaves himself at second base. Stroman loving the play, and how about Bourne? What the heck just happened right there? Should have been tagging. Found himself at third base.
See if the magic bat of Kim can do it again. Runner at second base. There are 2 down. Kim will walk a single, and he is grounded out. 1-0 count, 2 away. Kim gets a base hit into right field. Saunders up, has no play at the plate, and he does have more magic in that bat. What a couple of days for Kim as he picks up the RBI, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead. This one comes in the 7th inning with 2 down.
Boy, his approach has been solid. He's hooking fastballs and taking the off-speed pitches the other way. Quick on the inner third right now. Hammering it through that hole. And how about Saunders, how deep he was playing, respecting the power after Kim hit that big home run in last night's ball game. Allowing Bourne to score that big time add-on run.
3-0 lead. A run in here in the 7th inning. Manny Machado on the big cut. Manny an RBI sac fly, otherwise 0 for 2 in the ball game. For Kim, he gets RBI number 22 on the season. And a couple of big ones in the last 2 games. Did he go? Nope. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Machado. So the Orioles taking advantage of a leadoff walk and Bourne stolen base. Brock getting ready in the bullpen. 1-1 delivery on the way. Machado in the dirt on that one. Martin blocks it, holds the runner. And there's Jimenez benefiting from another run. The Orioles starter. Here's the 2-1 delivery out in front. Stroman saw how aggressive Manny was, so he pulled back on him.
Yeah, Manny getting a little bit big right now. And Stroman reading that. Martin as well. There's a swing on the slower breaking ball. See how aggressive Manny's been swinging.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Kim off first base, breaking ball away. Stroman goes 3-2. Not where he wanted to be on this count, and will walk to the back of the mound. Even with 2 down, Encarnacion's going to stay on the bag, so Kim doesn't get an extra jump. He'll be going here on 3-2. Stroman's delivery, Manny down to third and foul. Well, the Orioles keeping the heat on in this ball game. 7th inning, you add another run, make it 3-0 on their 7th hit. While the Jays are struggling with only 1 hit. Jimenez dominating here, middle innings, retiring 11 in a row. Only hit first inning, first batter. 3-2 delivery, Kim running. Martin got a piece of that one.
Manny, another big cut, 3-2 count here. Wanting it straight back and taking part of Martin's mask with it.
Base hit by Kim. The Orioles 1 for 6 runners in scoring position tonight. First hit in those situations. Jays are 0 for 5. Manny again, same place. Pair and Loop up in the bullpen. That's 2 people, not 1. Count stays at 3-2. Manny has worked this to a 9-pitch at bat. Three-two. Another one.
Manny fouling off some tough pitches right now. And pretty good battle right here with young stars in the game.
Again, the 3-2 delivery, and Machado's gone on a pitch in the corner. Stroman gets his 3rd strikeout, but the Orioles get their 3rd run. Kim, the RBI base hit. 3-0. So another run added, and bottom half of the 7th inning, fans settle in after the stretch. Russell Martin goes after it. Baldo rolling on. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Jimenez, another spectacular performance here in the start for the O's. 1-1 delivery on the way, and he had a reach, and again will foul it off.
They are just baffled right now. They cannot figure out Ubaldo. No pattern at all. They're just guessing. And Ubaldo's got them guessing.
One and two. It's not a question. Can Toronto score 3 runs? Can they score 1? I mean, right now, the way Jimenez is pitching, Both are unlikely. 2-2 delivery on the way, but as we saw last night, things change in a hurry. Jimenez off, makes the play. Martin is retired. One away here in the 7th inning. Well, the most popular way to follow the Orioles postseason push, MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball, game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your favorite devices now. Johnny Hart, the left-hander. Tulowitzki has popped out, lined out hard to Davis his last time up. Little chopper again. Jimenez bobbles. Donaldson wasn't running, and he's safe anyway. That's a close play. He better, Tulowitzki rather, he better be safe because he started moseying down the line.
Right. Great example. You should bust out of the box all the time. I think he's out.
Boy, that looked like it. The Orioles are looking at it.
Waldo made a nice recovery there. Almost had some tricky chances on the turf. Ball's checking up. A couple tough plays in this ball game.
Orioles, neither team's challenged anything in the ball game yet. That one may be worthy of a challenge.
Yeah, I would think. Oh man, he's out.
And we will. So the Orioles skipper asks that this play be looked at. Ed Barrett, who was the crew chief, made the call at first, so he and the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez will get on the headset to New York. Boy, you can't not be running.
Right.
If he had taken off and charged down the line, he would have been safe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. By probably a step and a half. And off the bat, the frustration and swinging at a bad pitch. First pitch, a little split finger here to start him off with. A little frustration there. A couple of jog steps. Too late when he turns it on.
Adam Jones is the personification of not doing that. He's out. So the challenge works. The Orioles get the out on the replay. And Jimenez just shaking his head because he knew he made that initial bobble, and that's going to be it. So Ubaldo Jimenez here in the 7th inning. Couple of plays, 1-3 to get the outs. There are 2 down, nobody on. He'll come out of the game. A chance to win his 8th. The Orioles have gotten a magnificent start from the right-hander. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And Ubaldo Jimenez has kept the magic going. Another superior start for Ubaldo. How about Batista chasing the high heater? Saunders going down on a 2-seam fastball. Batista's troubles continue. He had the whole Jays offense off balance this whole game. Everybody guessing, not knowing what is coming next. Ubaldo showing command of all of his pitches. Very impressive line. 6 2/3. Just one hit for Ubaldo. Nothing on the board for runs. Just 3 walks, 5 Ks for Ubaldo. Another sensational outing. Donnie Hart now into the ball game. Come into these high leverage situations many times here recently for Buck Showalter. Of course, last night came in and pitched an inning and a third.
And Upton is the pinch hitter. Melvin Upton Jr. on for Saunders. Came on last night and recorded an out coming off the bench. Hart, an inning and a third. He got both righties and lefties out in the appearance last night. 1-0 count. There are 2 down. Orioles lead at 3-0. The Orioles bullpen has not given up a run in 17 2/3 innings. Last night, Hart, Givens, Dunsing, Britton all came on to work, did not give up a hit in relief in the Orioles' 3-2 win. Ubaldo, he'll watch. Chance for a W here. 1 hit, the leadoff batter, first inning. That's the only hit he gave up. That's a ground ball that'll go to short. Hardy a long one. Hopper, and a great play at both ends. J.J. Hardy intentionally on the surface, bouncing it. That'll do it here in the 7th inning. And again, the defense coming to the fore. That works on the carpet for the out. Orioles head to New York, and the final 3 games of the regular season. Gallardo against Michael Pineda tomorrow night. Our coverage on MASN, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep. Game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Now the challenge continues as the Yankees are starting to play some pretty good baseball, and the Orioles have had their struggles at the stadium this year. Start picking up the bats. The runners in scoring position better come to life here soon. The Yankees have been playing tough. Of course, 3 in a row, and they're beating the Red Sox right now, right?
Yeah. They lead at 2-1 tonight, 6th inning, Yankees over the Red Sox. Red Sox, of course, have already clinched. Pitch taken down low. Carrera goes from left to right. Upton, who came on in the pinch hitting role, will stay on. Play left field. Here is Trumbo. Trumbo a base hit. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. The DH tonight. Pitch taken down low. Neither of these teams has shut out the other in the first 18 games that have been played this season. They've had 7 one-run ball games and an equal number of games decided by 4 or more runs. And it's been one way or the other. Did go around on it. Ted Barrett at first, the call on a check swing. Marcus Stroman has gone the distance, giving up the 3 runs on 7 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Working here in the 8th inning. That's going to be a base hit. Boy, Trumbo Solid at the plate all year. He's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it. How about that? A clear single ends up being a double.
Man,
and Trumbo hustling around to lead off the 8th.
That's some winning baseball right there. What does Trumbo see here? Now, yeah, the ball's headed to the left center field gap. He's got to have his eyes on the outfielders, and he sees that Pilar, he isn't busting after this ball, and you see him turn it on right there. He feels like he can beat him, and he does. Great base running by Trumbo to get this 8th inning going.
Wow. 2-6 on the year. A very big potential run. Leaders 0 for 3 in the ball game, 3 for 10 in the series, and he's going to get a base hit and an RBI. Pilar playing so deep, he's got no chance at the plate. Trumbo will score. Wieters makes it a 4-0 Orioles lead, and a cascade of boos rain down from the Rogers Center.
Wow. Nice job by Trumbo. Great piece of hitting by Wieters. There's that magic number. Getting hard to the middle again. Sounded like a broken bat, but it goes down a hero. Once again, Pilar playing deep, and Trumbo for the score.
So Matt Wieters picks up the RBI, and the Orioles have a 4-0 lead for Wieters' RBI number 62. Trumbo scores.
Did all he could, lasting the 7 innings, scattering the 9 hits, 4 earned runs. Orioles offense starting to come through a little bit. Couple walks, 3 strikeouts for Stroman on the night. He'll give way to Aaron Loup, the Jays bullpen. Aaron Loup's been on the shelf for most of the year. Left elbow injury early on in the season, so a lot of his work done in AAA. Loup, one of those side armors from the left side, crossbody delivery, much like the Orioles' Donnie Hart. The 5.40 earned run average, only the 13 1/3 innings work this season. Called up in September. Opponent's hitting .292 off Loup.
Wieters on at first after picking up the RBI. Shift on against Chris. Davis will take the pitch up high for a ball from Loup. 4 runs on 9 hits for the Orioles, looking to take 2 out of 3 vitally important games. Davis 5 for 11 with a home run, lifetime off Loup. Swings it in. A number of marks have ended tonight for the starting rotation for the Jays. They had held opponents to 1 earned run or less in 7 straight. That's gone. They'd allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 13 consecutive games. That is gone. And to tell you how the team is not hitting, the team ERA of 1.84 during those 13 games ended up with a record of 8-5.
Huh.
And the latest, Stroman over there, he's not had a run scored for him now, what, 3 games. Pitch is taken down low. Loup can't get it in there, and the count goes to 3-1.
Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. Little borderline pitches. And that last one, the 4th pitch, Russell Martin holding the glove. Angel Hernandez take a good look.
Davis, foul tipped into the mitt. 3 ball, 2 strike count on Chris. 2 singles, 2 for 3, as we said. This ballpark, one of his favorites for whatever the reason. .313 average, 17 home runs hit here at Rogers Center. And he's gone on a strike. So Luke comes back to get him. That will be it for Luke, who doesn't look real happy as he sees the manager coming out. He'll work a third of an inning and get the strikeout, as John Gibbons will go with the righty-lefty matchups. Presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced and retransmitted. That first word was reproduced, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do that in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. I think after you'd read that 157 times, you might know what the word is. But no.
And Ryan Tepera now into the ballgame. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. Loves the fastball. Mid to high 90s with the heater, but he can cut it as well as a slider to go along with it. Occasional split finger. A 3.31 earned run average. Only 16 1/3 innings worked here at the major league level, but he's been up and down 6 times this year. Sitting 254 off Tepera.
Runner on at first, 1 away. Jonathan Schoop will foul it off. Scope's had a base hit, 1 for 3. Leadoff double by Trumbo because of hustle. RBI single by Wieters, taking advantage of it. And the Orioles looking to get up there in double digits in hits. Ryan Tepera, 28 years old, first time in the majors last year, 32 games. Swing and a miss and a pitch away. Tepera was a late round to pick, 19th round in the 09 player draft out of Houston, Texas. Converted shortstop from his younger days. 0-2 delivery on the way and a swing and a miss.
Couple pretty good pitches right here. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. Little cutter, 88, 89 miles an hour, both located well on the outer third. Schoop giving chase at Tepera, making easy work at Jonathan there. Just 3 pitches.
So 2 away. Runner remains at first. Orioles have struck out 5 times in the ball game. Pitch away. Brad Brock ready in the bullpen. He's been up for a while. Both these teams strike out a lot. Orioles are 11th in strikeouts. Toronto's 12th. Swing and a miss by Bourne. He's drawn a walk and scored. Picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Tepera a look, and the delivery to Bourne is a strike on the outside corner. Again, we remind you the Detroit Tiger game this afternoon was rained out. They'll play Monday if necessary. Tigers a game out of a wild card spot. Orioles are trying to tie Toronto. Identical records for the two teams in the wild card positions right now. One-two delivery. Left down to first. Wieters hadn't moved very much. The Red Sox will play at Fenway against this Toronto team starting tomorrow. Rick Porcello and Estrada are the scheduled starters. Red Sox have named Eduardo Rodriguez for game 2 and David Price for game 3. The Blue Jays have not announced starters for games 2 and 3. Warren asking for the timeout. There it is. Seattle still hoping. Long shot with a few games left to be played here this weekend. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Bourne goes down swinging. So Tepera comes on, and the Orioles had another run. Trumbo doubled. Wieters brought him home 4-0. On Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by Chesapeake Employers Insurance, a workers' compensation insurance company. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick, a sellout crowd tonight at Rogers Center in Toronto, 47,791. The Orioles lead at 4-0.
Yeah, Brad Brock trying to keep this Blue Jays offense down. Fastball 60% of the time. That cross-body delivery, very tough to pick up the heater. It was a mid-90s. The slider and the turbo change go along with it. Very solid year, to say the least, for Brad Brock. 10 wins out of the Orioles bullpen with a 164 earned run average. All-star this year, holding opponents down to the 194 overall batting average.
10th game against Toronto for Brad this year. He's given up 3 runs, 9 hits in 11 1/3 innings. Jays hitting only .220 against him. Ball in the air to right center field. Adam Jones will not have a play on this one. And you can tell how tough it's been on the fans with no offense as they roar for a leadoff single. You see what the Pen has done, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Yeah, it's been stepping up for sure the last 2 weeks. You see that .67 earned run average, first in the American League, holding opponents down to just 182, which is second in the strikeout to walk ratio. They are aggressive in the zone, first with a 4.55.
Devin Travis, a walk and a ground ball out. Pitch there for a strike. Kevin Pillar, just the second hit of the game for Toronto. The other one Carrera, the leadoff batter in the first inning. Pilar on, nobody out. 0-1 delivery on the way. Foul back. Brad Brach gets ahead of him in a hurry as the count goes to 0-2. You really want to take the wind out of everything. Get a ground ball double play right here, and this game is over.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, saw in last night's ball game how quickly momentum can shift. These little spurts of energy. Base hits, stolen bases spark teams.
That's there. He gets the strikeout. Jimenez had 5. Brach gets 1. 1 away.
And once again, it looks like Blue Jays just looking for something else. Nissan pitch track. Brad Brach just filling it up on the fastball. 95 miles an hour. Not thinking about anything else. It is by you.
They have really watched some down the middle strikes go by tonight.
Yeah.
Ezequiel Carrera, the leadoff batter, who had that other hit first inning, a sacrifice, and he's struck out. Pitch way inside, knocked down by Wieters. Pilar on at first base. 1-0 count, 1 away. Carrera, big series, picking up the 5 hits, 9 at bats, home run, couple of RBIs, stolen base. 1-0 delivery by Brach over the top. 1-1.
Nastiest pitch in baseball right there. Brad Brach turbo changeup. Throws it hard, 87 miles an hour. Bottom falls out of it right at the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike count. In the dirt, runner stays. Brach worked against Arizona on the 25th, so he is well rested. He worked an inning and a walk and a couple of strikeouts in that ball game. During the second half of the year, Buck Showalter, Dave Wallace, pitching coach, have tried to rest him a little more between appearances as he got so used in the first half.
Boy, they rode him hard. Unfortunately, the Orioles starters were in some short outings.
Here's that double play. Hardy over to first. They get the ground ball they needed. Only 3 up here in the 8th inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Just what the doctor ordered. Orioles 4, Jays nothing. Alan Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. CN Tower, downtown Toronto, and the Rogers Center directly beside it and beneath it. Orioles 3 outs away from tying Toronto for those wild card spots. 86-72 for the Orioles, 87-71 for the Jays for the moment. Hardy will lead it off. A double and a run scored. He has struck out and grounded out. Pitch will be taken for a strike. Jimenez ends up no runs, 1 hit in 6 2/3 innings. He walked 3 and struck out 5. 0-1 delivery away. The last time Ubaldo had a ball game where he gave up only 1 hit, April 11 of last year. He went 7 innings in a win, giving up just 1 hit in the ball game. And tonight, 6 2/3, 1 hit. Hardy goes to center. Pilar, and he's 1 away, 9th inning. Visit MASNsports.com/CareFirst to vote for tonight's CareFirst Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. CareFirst, Blue Cross Blue Shield. They were opponents. Adam Jones.
Hard 0 for 4 tonight.
Man, I'll tell you. Twice robbed by infielders, once by Pilar in the outfield. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Brian Tepera on in relief. Adam an 0 for 4 tonight, 4 for 14 in the 3 games. Brad Brach, who came on to get the side out. Ground ball off the end of the bat. Tulowitzki. Take a look at our notebook. On this page, we have this date in MLB history, 2004. That's when the announcement today was made, September 29, that Washington, D.C. was going to be the new home of the Montreal Expos. And it was in '96 that Brady Anderson became the 14th MLB player to hit 50 home runs in a single season.
They get 50 right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
This ballpark. Young-Soo Kim. Well, inside out, that one foul. Heart of the order will be due up bottom of the 9th inning. Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Bautista. 1 pitch on the way. That's there for a strike. We mentioned the Mariners, a couple of games out of a wild card spot. They're playing tonight. West Coast start. A's will be in Seattle for that ball game. 0-2, 2 down. Umpire's pitch is there. He has struck out 3. 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. The Orioles need 3 outs. They lead it 4-0. Game for the bottom of the 9th inning. Replaces Kim in left field. Brad Brach will stay on to try and finish off the ball game for the Orioles. He came on in the 7th inning, got the final out, gave up a single in the 8th, but got a double play, so faced only 3. So Brock will work here to Donaldson in the bottom of the 9th inning. The last time the Orioles shut out Toronto was September 28, 2014. It was an 8-0 win here in Toronto.
Man.
Toronto has been shut out 7 times this year. Orioles have 8 shutouts to their credit as a team. Zach Britton, in case this becomes a save situation. Infield moves out of the shift a bit. Scope goes back to the second base side of the bag after that first strike. Donaldson 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. That's kind of the cuts we've seen in this ball game.
Yeah. Just in between everybody in this Blue Jays lineup, except Carrera's had some pretty good at bats this whole series, but yeah, Batista's had some struggles. You see him fighting it right now.
0-2 to Josh Donaldson. Brad Brock's delivery will be taken up high. Donaldson 5 for 11 off Brock. Orioles, who had lost 6 of the last 8 here in Toronto, trying to take 2 out of 3 in this series. 1-2 delivery. Just missed 2-2.
Oh, nice try right there. Definitely have to continue to make the quality pitches. Want this team or crowd to get back in it.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled back. The Orioles 4 runs, 9 hits, have left 7. No runs, 2 hits, 4 left on by the Jays. Mike Trumbo involved. A couple of hits, 2 for 4s, had a double and a run scored. And big story tonight was the start by Ubaldo Jimenez. Could not have been better.
Yeah, Ubaldo, definitely the story of the second half of this Oriole team.
2-2s right there. Froze him again, and Donaldson is retired. 1 away.
Great fastball here. A little natural cut on the end. 95 miles an hour. Back over, catching inside corner. Beautiful pitch from Brad Brock. Donaldson. Tough night.
All right, Encarnacion is 0 for 2 and a walk. He's not had a hit in this 3-game set. 0 for 9. He takes the strike. They're just not very confident at the plate.
No, they're not.
I mean, they're just, the struggles have kind of gotten to them here. I think in the month of September, we noted how tough it has been for their offense. And you can just see it in the at-bats they're taking in this series.
Not getting the nose in there. That confident offense that we've seen in the past. Of course, we have seen the results of offenses that have been struggling. The Orioles have done that.
Pitch will be taken away.
But I will say this: what's great about the Orioles, even though I still don't think their offense is quite right just yet, but they're doing little things to keep the team energized right now. Of course, Trumbo's great base running, coming up with a huge hit last night, but Ubaldo's start today was pretty uplifting in and of itself. And you find little things when the big things aren't happening.
That ball he got a hold of. That'll be into the corner. Raimo will chase it down. Encarnacion's going to go for 2 and will get in standing. A 1-out double here in the 9th inning.
Encarnacion picking up his 34th double to get on a Brock fastball. He reaches out to get this one. Hooking it down that left field line.
Checking in the bullpen. Britton, I believe, is ready. Don Chidi on the bullpen phone. Here's Bautista. 0 for 3 in the game, 0 for 9 in the series. He will take the pitch for a strike. Bautista 2 for 7, a home run. Lifetime off Brad Brock. Donnie Hart worked a third of an inning after Jimenez came out. Jimenez, Hart, and Brock, the three for the Orioles. A balk called on Brock, and then he's going, what did I do? Home plate umpire Angel Hernandez, I believe, made the call.
Actually, I think it was Jose Bautista that made the call. Bautista turned around to Angel Hernandez pointing. Take a look and see if Brad does anything. Oh, a little flinch with the leg, and you see the point.
So that moves the runner over to third. Wieters out, just to remind him. Ball game's in hand here. Get the hitter.
Yeah, I don't want that getting your way. Very aggressive in the zone. Lose that focus.
0-1 count. Bautista swings through it. He has had Bautista in this series a real tough time making contact, huh?
Yeah, he has.
He's pulling way off the ball.
Stepping in the bucket, really opening up that outside corner.
0-2 delivery on the way, and same thing, right where Brad Brock wanted it. Brock picks up his third strikeout, and there are 2 down here in the 9th inning.
Nothing but change-ups here to get Bautista. Beautiful pitch, dive bombing down and away. See the hip opening up. Actually, the front foot opened up early as well. That's a sign of fatigue right there. Bautista cheating. Get to the pitch.
So the Orioles just an out away from having an identical record as the Jays, tied for the wild card spots. Taken for a strike. Russell Martin 0 for 3. He's had a 1 for 9 in the series. 0-1 the count on him with Encarnacion over at third base. 0-1 delivery on the way. Ground ball to short. Hardy is there. And the Orioles have done it. They have come to Toronto, a place so hard for them to win games over the last couple of years, and have taken 2 out of 3. A shutout, 4-0 against Toronto. And as Mike said, finding ways to score other than the long ball. Neither team having a home run in the ball game tonight. And on the season now, Toronto has lost 16 consecutive games where they do not hit a home run.
There you go. And you know, I think so much of it fed off of Ubaldo's start. Another quality start from Jimenez after that very emotional victory last night's ball game. The Orioles able to carry it over into today's game. Pretty darn exciting for this team right now, and especially to come in here to Toronto and do it on the road where they've had problems all year. The last 2 road trips that the O's have been on, played some pretty good baseball.
What a big series and what a big win. As the Orioles come back, as they have done so often this year. In the first game of the series, they lost it 5-1 and didn't look particularly good in doing so, but they've done that all year.